So I just saw The Creator, the newest film from director Gareth Edwards, also starring John David Washington. And I got a lot to say about this one. So The Creator is a brand new, original sci-fi epic movie, something that we do not get a lot of in this day and age. So just on that fact alone, I'm glad this movie exists. It should exist, and we need more movies like this. The movie is set in a world many, many years into the future where AI and humanity have kind of started to go to war with each other. There's been this big, terrible event in which AI kind of turned against humanity, and now we have this big USA versus AI war that kind of crosses borders and kind of becomes this political mess as well as this moral mess, and we get a big AI is bad movie. Or is AI bad? That's kind of like the question this movie poses. So was this movie good? Did I enjoy The Creator, and did it kind of live up to the expectations that a lot of people were setting for it? For me, no, not really. This movie is not bad. Let me just get that out of the way. It's not a bad movie. It just, for me, was a very disappointing movie because of how dull I just thought it was. I thought it was extremely dull and basic. Let me start with the pros, though. First off, John David Washington is really great in this movie, and he needs to be getting more action in Hollywood. He is such a good actor, and he just unfortunately keeps taking these roles in these big movies that just end up giving him not a lot of character work. I mean, what he has to work with here is just not a lot. His character is really kind of boring, but his actual performance and the work that he does is great. He has such a unique and natural charisma, so similar to his father, Denzel Washington, and he's just so great. Every time he's on screen, I love everything he's in. The movie also looks beautiful, and everybody knows it. You can tell in the trailers. You can tell by what you're watching on my screen, on the screen right now for YouTube. It's just an absolutely beautiful movie. The CGI is really good, and it's just shot excellently. It looks magnificent. I also think the world is really cool. It kind of builds this unique world, and I heard Gareth Edwards talking about the fact that he wanted to mix time periods. So this is a world in which AI was sort of developed back in like the 1950s, the 1960s. So the world still kind of feels connected to a lot of the cultural styles and that you would see in the 50s when it comes to the cars and the color palette and everything that's going on. And that mixing of the future and the past together while ignoring our present was really cool and gave the world a really unique twist and a unique taste. I thought the actual conflict was cool and unique, although the film doesn't dive enough into it because we're really in the inside of this conflict in this smaller story that has larger consequences, but we never really get to see the larger picture of this conflict, and it just kind of feels like a wasted thing. The political ramifications of what's going on, the borders, the countries, all of that is stuff that interested me the most in this movie, and although they set it up in the first act in a very cool way, they never did much with it, and that was kind of disappointing. I thought a lot of the action in this movie was fine. It's pretty standard stuff. There was no action sequence that really stood out to the point where I'm remembering it now, but it was fine and entertaining enough. But outside of that, there's really not much more I could say about the pros, so let me get right into the cons. First off, the script here. I did not love the script, and I don't think the script is bad. I just think they played it super safe, and maybe they had to because this is a director who's not exactly known for making these big original projects, making a big gigantic sci-fi epic from scratch, so maybe they had to play it safe due to the studio, but this is just such a safe and predictable movie. I mean, you can see every single beat of this story coming from a mile away, and it just made the movie so much less engaging than it should have been because it's such a cool world. I just found myself not very interested in what was going on because I knew what the twist was going to be in the first act, and I kind of expected where the ending of the movie was going to go, and just nothing surprised me, and it just played out exactly how I thought it would, and because of that, the whole thing just felt empty. And the emotions between the characters were never actually done the way I really kind of wish they were. I mean, I never felt the chemistry that was there between John David Washington's character and Maya, his wife character. I never really felt the emotional connection between him and the kid. None of it really 100% worked for me. At least worked enough to carry a lot of the dullness that came in the basic story of the whole picture. I thought the villains were just really bad and really one-noted. I thought the whole conflict kind of ended up feeling one-noted and feeling like something I've seen a million times before. I also thought this movie really deserved a better score. The score here is not bad, but this is the type of movie that needed a Dune score, that needed a Christopher Nolan, Hans Zimmer score. If it had just that, I think this movie would have been elevated 1,000 times better than what it is, but unfortunately it just has a really basic and sort of forgettable score, for me at least. Maybe I'm in the minority of that opinion. Another big issue I have with this movie is the ending, man. The ending is just so, things just sort of start happening, and you can't really, the action is sort of boring and dull, and I don't know, man. It became so much less believable, and a lot of characters started disappearing, and other characters just started reappearing, and then it just sort of ends, and I just felt so whatever. The main thing I thought watching this movie is, wow, this this must be how everybody else felt about Avatar. Now, I love the Avatar movies, but I can totally understand now why some people don't. That first Avatar movie came out, and it was beautiful, absolutely stunning. It had all the James Cameron directorial and visual styles that you expect from his films, and it was just absolutely amazing to look at, an amazing accomplishment for cinema. Also had one of the best scores ever. But when it comes to the story, it's really dull. The characters are boring, the story is something you've seen a million times, it's a basic hero story, it's a basic, invaders coming in and fighting the invaders story. It doesn't really do anything surprising or unique in that realm other than building a pretty cool world, and honestly, it's the same exact thing with the creator. It's, really cool world, really cool ideas, but a really basic and dull story with really basic and dull characters that kind of just drag down the experience for me. And that's what this is. The creator is Avatar, just without James Cameron and without the great score. And for me, that's why I just did not love it that much, but it is a good movie, so I'm not going to sit here and give it a 2 out of 5 and really continue to rip this movie and say it's terrible, because it is a good movie, it's solid, I'm sure general audiences will love it. I hope it does really, really well at the box office, because I would like to see a Creator 2. I would like to see Gareth Edwards and other writers jump into this and really dive into this world and tell deeper, more complex stories with more complex ideas in future iterations of this world. So I would like to see that, because there is so much potential here. Especially the end of this movie, it kind of left the world in an interesting spot, kind of similar to the ending of Blade Runner, the Blade Runner 2 by Denis Villeneuve a couple years ago. Very, very similar to that ending, and it's a very unique way to set up what I hope will be a sequel. We'll see. But yeah, because of all that, I think I'm going to give The Creator a 3 out of 5, because it's a good movie. It's fine. I have my complaints about it. I wish it was a 4. I wish it was a 5, but it's not. It's going to be a 3, and I think you guys should probably go see The Creator. If you really were thinking about going to see an original sci-fi movie, if you were excited to see it, go see it. Make up your own opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm right. But yeah, that's the video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe for more. Make sure to turn on notifications to see everything as I post them. Gonna have a lot of content coming this week. It is New York Film Festival week, so I have a lot of stuff coming. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.